Hello everyone, Elite 4Yo here, and gonna do a 1 month update since that little 3 day, not little, since that big 3 day price crash of the Japanese 151 booster box set. That was about a month ago now when the prices plummeted to the lowest price that has been seen on these booster boxes. So I figure now's a good time to revisit it, see what's been going on, and try to do a little potential future outlook here. So if you find any of this useful or helpful and entertaining, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much. So let's take a look here now at the 151 price box, and we're looking on Sneaker Dunk again. We have the price right here at about 9,550 yen. Plugging that into our little converter here, that's about $61, which is excellent. I mean, that is a fantastic number for the price to be sitting at currently on here. Now, that does not include any shipping or fees. That's going to raise it significantly. So in order to get that number right here of about 61, you're going to have to buy quite a bit to get the shipping lower. You got to cost average it out. So keep that in mind. You're probably looking, if you bought like 10 to a dozen boxes, you're probably looking more around something like $10 to $20 added onto that to account for shipping, I would guess. So just keep that in mind. And again, that is if you are buying off of Sneaker Dunk itself. So let's take a look here. Going back a month just to map it out. Showing that's a week. Here is the month. So just about a month ago here is when we saw the big price drop down. I think I actually have to show it on here. Yeah, the 3 month one. So right here, this little crash. This is when I last updated us on the lowest price point that it had seen just about a month ago, when it was sitting in that almost like 60 to almost sub $60 free shipping and fee range, which was the lowest that the price had ever dropped before, which is very significant. Again, that had to do because of rumors of the reprint, the restock that had hit or has been hitting. And I say that because over the last month, so following from this price drop on here, you have seen a continued, basically a stabilization of the price. I mean, look, about a week or so after the crash, is what I'll call it, it went up about 2,000 yen, 3,000 yen or so. So I'll just plug it in here as 2,500 yen. So that went up about $16. And since then, it's actually just gone down. A little bit up here, but then it's gone down, 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 down. As you can see, over the last, what are we looking at here? Yeah, basically last week and a half, the price has continued to go down, 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 and is now at the sub 10,000 yen range. So if I plug in 10,000 yen here, so right there, $64, sitting below that by a few bucks. That's where it is currently sitting at. This is showing over the last week, so this isn't necessarily all that significant. So if you're looking at it, you're like, whoa, it's going up and down. No, this is probably a matter of dollars or cents. So this isn't the best graph to look at. But if we look at it over the last month, this gives you a better look of that price drop, the continued price drop. As here, it kind of had a little bump up after the initial crash when it was in that $8,500 yen range. It bumped up quite significantly, but it's kind of stabilized, and then just drop to where it is sitting now in that sub 10,000 yen range. That's how you're able to get it in that approximate $60 to $63 window, free shipping and fees. So kind of interesting, what does this actually mean for the product, right? Because it has now very consistently been sub 70 bucks. I mean, that's basically what it's been for the last few weeks now. So there has been a huge amount of the product on the market for a very long time now. I mean, it has been a long time. If I just go back to the 3 months, let's look before. So this right here that I'm showing you, where it was in the, we'll call it 15,000 yen range. I'll plug in 15,000. So almost 100 bucks, 95 to 100 bucks. This was when the news of the reprint first kind of came out. The rumors of a reprint, restock were coming. So that was the first divot. And then once it actually hit, this is the big crash right here, the big 3-day crash, as I covered about a month ago. But man, we are a long time away from when prices, as you can see here, all the way on the left, 3 months ago, were averaging $20,000 to $21,000. Yen. Sorry, obviously I meant yen, not dollars. Yes, 20,000 yen, approximately $128. So we're far, far off. And this has given ample time for anyone to jump in on the product as an investment. So previously, the question had been whether you're waiting it out for a decrease to occur and timing the market. Now you haven't really needed to worry about that so much over the last 2 weeks, since it's kind of stabilized at this $60 to $65 range. So for many investors, it's a question of how much of the product am I going to stockpile? If it's consistently sitting here, you have a lot of time and options to figure it out, try to time it out. I don't think it's a question anymore of how low will it go. That's what it was back here at the end of March. How low will it go? Was it a good idea to buy here when it hit at 14,000 yen? Well, it turned out it wasn't, because boom, just about a month later, it dropped to that 8,000, 9,000 yen range on average. So that wasn't. Now, however, is probably not the time to nickel and dime. Meaning, if you can get this product for $65, which is actually a little higher than what it's currently sitting at 9,550 yen, then, is the difference of a few dollars gonna amount to much? I mean, how much lower can it reasonably go? If the price of the box is something like 35 to 40 bucks, is it gonna hit retail prices? Are we going to be able to import this at retail cost? Again, not factoring in shipping and any additional fees. So there's time now, which is surprising, because the 3-day crash here had a very brief 2 to 3 day window. But now we're reaching that level again, and we've been near that level for about a week and a half. So no longer is it a question of, oh boy, I got to jump on this now before it shoots up. I mean, it may take a very long time for the price to jump back up. We got to get through this reprint, this restock, before that price is going to rise. So this is a long hold now. I think longer than we were anticipating it was going to be, because of how long the price has sat below 10,000 yen now, below that $65 window. So certainly, is it still a good investment? Yeah, I think it's still a great investment, but you're not going to get a big return on it that quickly anymore. And by return, I mean like at least we'll say a doubling of your profit. If people were initially back a month ago like, oh boy, I'm going to buy in this dip and then it'll go back up, because all the restock reprints are bought out and I'll see the price appreciate, that's probably not going to happen. Not in the short term, not in the near term, and not beyond that. People were thinking right here, as you can see, I'm highlighting here, about a month ago when it dipped below 9,000 yen, it's hovering around that $60 to $65 range, that if all of the product got bought out, so the reprint restock product was bought out, then the price will start to climb, which it did. It did in the very near term. Look, it went from about 10,000 yen here and climbed to, what are we looking at, about 13,000 plus yen. But then something surprising happened. I don't know if everyone expected. The price actually started to go down, and then it's stabilized, and now it's going down, 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 down. So the market's kind of interesting, right? It didn't have an immediate bump up and then increase from there. The restock reprint just continued. And now there is a ton of this product available at affordable price points of around $60 to $65 before shipping and fees. So plenty of opportunities still exist. It's not as much of a rush or a panic to get in. Some people are going to look at it and say, well, at this point, might as well see how low it can go. But again, is that worth, waiting it out? I mean, for all you know, the price could jump back up and then not return back down if the reprint restock is done. So it's a question of, going forward now, do you really want to save a few dollars here or there on each box, depending on how much you're buying? Does that actually matter to get the highest amount of value back on your product investment? I bought mine, and I have one right here, actually. I bought a bunch of my product right here, as I'm holding it upside down. I bought a bunch of mine. I think I got it at the about like the $70 range. It might have been $65. So I bought like 10 boxes at that price, and I'm satisfied with that. I don't feel the need to go in anymore. But certainly people are going to say, well, at this price point, I might as well amass as much as I can and be in it for the very long hold, looking far into the future. Okay, so let's take a look at eBay, because if you're not buying it on Sneaker Dunk or TikTok or whatever you want to buy it from and using deals, well, if you look at it on eBay right here, this top left one, this is the cheapest one that I've seen, and it's about 90 bucks, free shipping. But the big thing to keep in mind, and this is kind of what I'm going to segue into, is the shrink wrap. The big question of shrink wrap. This $90 is with shrink wrap. This is the cheapest one I've seen with shrink wrap. Without shrink wrap, you can probably get it for at least $20 cheaper than that, so 70, maybe even under, probably. But I would be very wary of doing that. You know, if you're gonna, well, no, I wouldn't do it. No. See, here's the thing. I'm gonna try to show this on camera. So I have my sample box here. I got a bunch of these. The problem with buying it without the shrink wrap, without the plastic on it, is take a look here. Hopefully you can see this. If I push this together, actually I might do it from this angle. If I push this together, you might be able to see that I can lift the top lid. Without the shrink wrap, the thinking is that a person could lift the top lid, unfold the lip inside, take out all the packs, wait until they get the Master Ball hit, and then everything else stays. They repack it with another box that is sans without the Master Ball, and then send it your way. Unfortunately, that is a practice that is probably happening, so I would never buy not shrink wrapped. Obviously, if you had a very trusted seller, I guess, if I don't know, I mean, I guess that's one way you could feel safe doing it, but as for me, I'm not taking the risk. I'm buying shrink wrap only, and that's just the way to go to be safe, that someone's not doing what I said. So in that situation, you know, assuming that the prices on Sneaker Dunk are reflecting shrink wrap, I don't actually know, then, you know, that's something you have to account for. That's why if you hop on eBay right now and you're looking at it and you're like, oh wow, I can, you know, get a $70 box, well, you're going to see all of them are without the shrink wrap because they remove it when people are purchasing it directly from the Pokemon Center stores in Japan. So that is a major thing to keep in mind. If you're buying this as an investment, make sure it's got the shrink wrap, make sure it's not tampered. If you're buying it just to open, I would still say buy shrink wrap. You know, it doesn't matter, because if, you know, heaven forbid you buy it from a non-reputable source, you know, and Sneaker Dunk is kind of just like an open market. It's not like you're buying it direct from a major warehouse. They're getting it from a seller who is shipping it to someone who's authenticating it, and then it's being shipped out. So that middleman process kind of makes it a little more dubious, in my opinion. So, you know, you're not having direct connection to the seller on Sneaker Dunk is what I'm saying. So I've never purchased from Sneaker Dunk. I just, it's the best place to look at the market prices. In any case, let's quickly take a look here at price chart, and let's take a look at some of these prices. So if we look at the ungraded prices, so these are all of the Master Ball hits. You see, I mean, even like the cheapest Master Ball, Pokemon Master Balls, not the items or trainers or whatever, are sitting, you know, around 10 to 20 bucks, which is basically what I bought my collection. I have like 50 of them of just random Pokemon. So the standard Pokemon are not really appreciating at all. You know, you get a Magmar, Magnemite, whatever, you're probably not going to get much value there. So obviously the entire thing is predicated on the big Master Ball Pokemon. And if I'm just scrolling through here, we're not really seeing them here because it's basically just Pikachu, Gengar right there. Look, Gengar's at 151. If I scroll down here, you'll see the Pikachu at right there. Look at that, over $200, and that's the raw, right? I mean, if I look at the graded, I think it's over $300. So obviously that's a big part of the appeal of the set. And just to kind of update on the prices here, anything that isn't those two Pokemon, really, it's not much of a big price. And again, these are just the raws. You know, I'm not saying that you can get like a Scyther right now for $16. That's what it's listed at on average on price charting, which is reflective of the eBay prices on the ungraded cards. But still, it's not a perfect system here. Slowpoke, look at that. Is that $42 for a Slowpoke? It's so random. You know, I think Psyduck might be another one that people like for some reason. It's kind of like a random Pokemon. Snorlax right here, sitting at $23. So, in any case, just wanted to look at some of the prices on the Master Ball cards, because that's kind of the big appeal of the set, which is why it is so crucially important to get an untampered, sealed with plastic wrap on your box. So definitely make sure that whatever you're buying from wherever you're buying it, that you're getting it like so with that plastic wrap. So just to recap everything I've been going over here, looking at the market over the last 3 months, I've kind of explained how the prices were over 20,000 yen. I'll just plug that price right there. There it is, 20,000, so almost 130 bucks. Then the rumor of the reprint and restock, whichever it is, both maybe, hit, prices dipped, continued to go down, 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 down. Then we had the 3-day price crash. It went back up, stabilized, and it's been steadily dropping over the last 2 weeks to where we find ourselves right now, just a touch over $60 a box before fees and shipping. So again, my take is, you know, if you're still waiting to invest and you truly believe in this product, you know, I don't think you can go wrong. I don't know how much lower it can go. I mean, could it drop back to sub 9,000 yen? Sure. Is that a big difference from 10,000 yen? I'm not sure that's enough to make someone, you know, want to wait it out and risk the reprint restock drying up. Then again, there are rumors that there could be another restock and reprint, thus flooding the market with even more product. And maybe it does hit into sub 8,000 yen range. Who knows, you know? But the market is considerably less active. I think the liquidity of it isn't really going as up and down anymore. That's pretty much what you're seeing on here. Okay, so that is my market update on the Japanese 151 booster box prices, as we continue to see some movement, not as drastic as it was a month ago, but some movement trending downward. If you found this useful, helpful, or entertaining, again, hit that like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And once again, I'm Elite Forio. Hope you enjoy your product. Take care. Bye-bye.